Today is day 2 of surface area of prisms and cylinders. Most of my students were struggling with how to set it up still, so we're going to do a second day of lesson. So, how do I find surface area of figures is my essential question. I'm learning to find surface area of figures is my learning intention. You've got 3 planar figures. That means that they are 2D. Surface area that we work with is 3D. So pause the video and see if you can find the area of a trapezoid, a triangle, and a circle. Well, I do hope you tried. If you got your resource sheet out and look down here, the formula for a trapezoid is 1/2 of the height times your base 1 plus your base 2. Okay, so let's identify where our height is, where our base is, and where our other base is. So if we're looking, this is our height. This is our base, and this is our other base. Which one's 1, which one's 2, it doesn't matter. You can flip it all the way around, and then they would be oriented differently. So let's put it all together now. Area is 1/2 times 12 times 30 plus 56. Okay, instead of 1/2, I'm going to use 0.5 because 0.5 is the decimal representation. Times 12 times parentheses 30 plus 56. Close it off, and you get 516. So my area is equal to 516 units squared. We don't know what units it's in, so we just have to do u squared. Hopefully you were able to get that on your own by the use of the formula. Okay, for the next one, it is a triangle. So the formula for the area of a triangle is your base times your height divided by 2. This would be my base, this would be my height. Area is 16 times 13 divided by 2. And you get 104. This time we're in feet, so it will be feet squared. And for the circle, how do you find the area of a circle? If you look at your formula sheet, if you cannot remember, the area of a circle is pi r squared. We need to know our radius. Our radius is 4. So our area is equal to pi times 4 squared. Our area is equal to 16 pi feet squared. What is that approximately? Well, I just type in 16, I hit my second button, I hit that upside down V, and I get my pi. Hit enter, and it is 50.265, so it's approximately 50.27. and then once again feet squared. Hopefully you were able to do all three of those with little or no help. Okay, the surface area of a cylinder. Remember, our surface area is always 2 times our base area plus our perimeter times our height. In this case, our base is a circle. So this is pi r squared. 14 is not my radius. That's my diagonal, or my diameter. What is the difference between the diameter and the radius? Well, the diameter is twice as big. 14 divided by 2 gives me 7. So this is pi times 7 squared, which is 49 pi. For my perimeter, it is the circumference of that circle. So it is 2 pi r, which is 2 times pi times 7, which is 14 pi. Now, the last thing we need is our height, the height of the cylinder. The height of the cylinder is 8. Let's put it all together. My surface area is 2 times my base area times 49 pi plus my perimeter, which is 14 pi, times my height, which is 8. Okay, 2 times 49 is 98. Followed by your pi, plus 14 times 8 is 112. So my surface area (98) plus 112 gives me 210 pi. And that will be kilometers squared. That is approximately. So I'm going to take my 210 and multiply it by pi, and I get 659.73. So it's about 659.73. Kilometers squared. So if you're still struggling, back the video up and watch it again. Okay, now we've got a trapezoid. The area of a trapezoid is 1/2 your base times your height. Then we've got to find the perimeter, and then we have to multiply the perimeter by the height of your trapezoidal prism here. So my base area is going to be 1/2 my height of my trapezoid times my B1 plus my B sub 2, my two bases. Okay, my height is 3.5. My base 1 is 3. My base 2 is 7. Here's your height of your trapezoid. It's also the height of your pyramid. So for my base area, once again, I'm going to use that 0.5. And 3.5 is my height. Parentheses. 3 plus 7, close the parentheses off, and I end up with 17.5. Now, what is my perimeter? My perimeter is all the way around the edges. So if I'm looking, okay, this will be 7 because this one's 7. This edge is 4. 3 is my other edge. And 4 has to be this last edge. So that is 7 plus 7 plus 4. 7 plus 7 is 14 plus 4 is 18. That would be yards. This would be yards squared. Now, what is my height? My height is the height of that trapezoid. This is going to be my height. And now let's put it all together. My surface area is 2 times my base area, which is 17.5, plus my perimeter, which is 18, times my height, which is 3.5. Put it into the calculator. 2 times 17.5 plus 18 times 3.5, and we get 98. It would be, your surface area would be 98 yards squared. Remember, if you're not understanding, back it up and listen to the explanation again. Okay, now, those were all the basic types, but what happens if you're missing a piece? So I've got a triangular prism, but I don't have the height of my triangle. I need to know that height. This is the height of the whole thing, but what's my height here? How can I find the height of that triangle? Well, the altitude cuts the base into 2 equal pieces. I now have a right triangle. Half of 6 is 3. I now have a right triangle, and I can find the height of my bigger triangle. So, using Pythagorean's theorem, I've got my hypotenuse and a leg. So b squared will be equal to 5 squared minus 3 squared. The opposite of squaring is square rooting. So b is equal to, I should have used h there, huh? The square root of 5 squared minus 3 squared. And I end up with 4. So my height is 4. So to find the area, my base area, it's that triangle. It is my base of my triangle times my height divided by 2. The base is 6. The height is 4 divided by 2. So half of 6 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 centimeters squared. Now, we have to figure out our perimeter. Five plus 6 plus 5. 10 plus 6 is 16, and that would be centimeters. The height of the whole prism is 11. So let's put it all together. My surface area is 2 times 12 plus 16 times 11. And we end up with 200. That will be 200 centimeters squared. For the last one, this is an area of a regular polygon. This is a right prism, but the base is not one that we normally see. So for your area of your regular polygon, A, it's 1/2 AP, where A is the apothem, which is that little piece that goes from edge to edge, and P is the perimeter of the base. So as I'm looking, my A is 2. My P of the base will be 6 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 36. So the area of that base area is 1/2 times 2 times 36. Okay, 1/2 of 2 is 1. 1 times 36 is 36 centimeters squared. We already have our perimeter, so we don't need to look at the perimeter again. But the height of the prism is 17. So putting it all together, my surface area is 2 times my base area, which is 36, plus my perimeter, which is 36, times my height, which is 17. You end up with 684 centimeters squared. And that takes us down to what happens if you're looking for the height. Given the surface area of this cylinder is 28 pi inches squared. Find the height. Well, we know the radius. So let's put everything into our equation. So 128 pi is equal to 2 pi. This time we're going to use the r squared, which is 4 squared, plus 2 pi times our radius times our height. Okay, 128 pi. If I look, I've got 2 pi in every one of those terms. So to make my life easier, I'm going to divide everything by 2 pi. I've canceled it out of this term. I've canceled it out of this term. 128 divided by 2 is 64. So 64 is equal to 4 squared is 16 plus 4 times my height. So start by subtracting 16 from both sides. 64 minus 16 is 48. 48 is equal to 4h, 4 times my height. Divide both sides by 4, and 12 is equal to my height. And that would be 12 meters. So, how do you know when you're successful? You know you're successful when you can find the surface area of any figure. Remember, your surface area is 2 times the area of your base plus your perimeter times your height. For a rectangular prism, it'll be 2 times my length times my width plus 2 times my length times my height plus 2 times my width times my height. Just learn to find the different variables, what they are, and plug and chug.